So what you're committing to is not only no new taxes, but you are also committing to decreased spending. That's even more important that no one seems to talk about.
Absolutely. Well, people talk about it generally. They want to say, yeah, we're going to decrease spending. We're going to cut the bad spending out. But because if you start cutting the bad spending out, that hurts. People start screaming and squalling, and so they don't want to identify where they're going to cut spending. You see? Because
everyone has a pet project.
Yeah. Well, you look at my Republican opponent. He basically, if you look at he's going to cut 21%. He's got to cut 1% of government spending because he's going to have that much tax cuts. He'll still have a deficit, but there's only, that 21% is more than all discretionary spending that our government does altogether. It's got the government has a thing that's contractually bound to spend money on, like Social Security, which people paid for, like Medicare, which people already paid for through payroll deductions, like the national debt, and so
the interest on the national debt. You mean
the interest on the national debt, and so he's basically going to have to go into Medicare. He's just
saying things that people want to hear.
Saying things. He doesn't want to be specific. Now I can be specific, and what I'm going to say, a lot of people won't like, but it's the truth. Okay. Just under a third of our expenditures of our federal government are in our military, military and defense and so-called intelligence organizations, security, and that is a great big, I'd have to say, boondoggle, and it's like the subsidies we have for farmers. Our government is subsidizing in an incredible, insane way all this military-industrial governmental complex and making a big party out of it. Now, if you Google Eisenhower military-industrial, or you better than that, you YouTube it. YouTube Eisenhower, Eisenhower, military-industrial, and you'll see and you'll hear Dwight D. Eisenhower, in the last speech of his two-term presidential career, give the most important speech of his life, where he warns about the military-industrial complex. And of course, we didn't pay much attention to that warning, so today we've got it in spades. And we have, basically, we have the military-industrial government complex creating demand for their product. How do you create demand for the military-industrial governmental complex? We have to create enemies. And so they're running out there, creating any new number of enemies and hoping they can create them so that they can always come back to the American people and say, by golly, by gosh, there is a boogeyman out there. You're afraid, and you ought to be afraid. We'll protect you. Just give us a ton of money. I'm not a ton of money. I mean, give us an unbelievable, incredible amount of your wealth, and we'll be fat and happy, and we'll take care of you.
And whatever you don't give us, we'll make it up and tax your children through inflation.
Well, whatever they're doing, what they're doing is, I could go on about this for hours, but to give you an idea, we have 16 intelligence organizations, all the way from the Office of Naval Intelligence, ONI, down to the CIA, and now and to the NSA, and all sorts at once. And they and their subcontractors have 850,000. That's 850,000 employees with top security clearances. That doesn't count the secretaries and just the regular workers that don't have a top security clearance. Okay? Well, the head of the CIA in July of this year, 2010, said that there's at most 100 Al-Qaeda fighters in Afghanistan. Well, let's presume there's 10,000. Not, there's more than that, than what he told us. But let's say there's 10,000. So if there's 10,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in Afghanistan and Pakistan, we have for them 80 for each person. We have 85 people. Each Al-Qaeda fighter, we have 85 people back in a desk somewhere in the United States with a top security clearance. And that doesn't count the other people that are helping them, and it doesn't count any of our soldiers. This is as inefficient and wasteful as can be. It's unbelievable, except it's true.